Aloha. Have you ever felt like you had all the tools that you needed to accomplish the things that you wanted to accomplish, and yet for some reason still felt unprepared? Like it was too much, or it just wasn't coming together? That's what we're going to talk about today as we finish off this series on goals and goal setting. My name is Greg Pentecost with Getting to Escrow. That's where we train real estate agents to master their time, their income, and their prosperity. And today we're going to finish off our discussions on goals and goal setting. So earlier in the week, we talked about what goals are, why they're important, areas of your life to set goals, how to set SMART goals, and then we also talked about, train left the station. After that, we talked about rewards. And today, we're going to talk about, and we also talked about putting it all together. And that's putting them all together in one place. And now we're going to talk about some tools that you can use, some additional tools you can use for accomplishment and achievement. So I'm going to go down a few steps that I use when I put together a plan. And you'll see how we've hit some of them, and then we're going to finish them up. Number one, we want to set highly specific goals. That is how we do it. And so we talked about that when we discussed how to set SMART goals. We want to create strong reasons, strong desires behind those goals. And when we talked about putting them all together, and we talked about your vision, that's for each area and why we're going towards those goals. That's one of the things that we discussed, but perhaps I could have done a little bit better. I know that Rhonda Byrne talks a lot about that in her books as well, about having a really powerful, strong reason why. And there's other people, Napoleon Hill and so on, who talk about having a strong reason why you want to accomplish your goals. But that's part of your vision, what it is and why you want it. An easy rule on that one would be the 7 whys. Keep asking, why is that important? Why is that important? Until you get down to a feeling that really, really is important for you. From there, step 3 is going to be develop a thorough plan. Now, that's why we put it all together and we said we're going to work on just 1 or 2 goals in each area. That's part of the plan. Once we create the plan, though, we want to take massive action. Now, that is not something that we can do here on a video. That's not something I can guide you to do, because that's your life. That is your challenge. That is your schedule, if you will. A lot of people will say if it's not scheduled, it won't become a reality. So keep that in mind. When you want to take massive action, you got to have a plan. You want to plan it. Step 4 is take massive action. And then step 5 is manage, track, and adjust. And this is one of the ones that I want to talk about today. Because while we create a plan of we want to live this life, and this is our vision for it, we set a goal, we set out an action plan for it. The massive action is part that you do. But here's the thing, is that massive action that you take is only worthwhile and only is helpful if you're managing it, tracking it, and adjusting it. I was working on a really big goal about 3 months ago. I started, and oh man, it was huge, and I knew it was huge, and I'm like, every day I'm going to take a little bit of action towards it, and towards it, and towards it. And so I was managing it, and I was tracking it. And then pretty soon I realized that the goal that I had originally set, or pardon me, the path that I was on towards that goal wasn't getting me any closer, nor would it. So I literally needed to make a 90-degree change to get on a new track to get towards that goal. And luckily, I made it about half, and I sectioned things off in quarters. Luckily, because of that, I didn't reach my goal by the end of the quarter, but I was 3/4 of the way there. But had I continued on the original path and not adjusted, then I would be no closer. And so that's why that's very important. So there's lots of tools out there. You can do it. I'm real big on daily checklists. Okay? What are the things that I want to accomplish every day? And what are the things I want to accomplish today? And so for my business, we've got that, and I've got a checklist, and I go down it. and I add stuff on it. And there's a calendar of the hours of the day so I can keep track of what I'm doing, what I'm supposed to be doing. And I've got all of that on there, which really helps me stay focused and stay on track. There's other things that you can do. One of the big things is that a lot of people like to do different programs or read books on how to make this happen. So let's start off with some of the ones that I've used that are pretty amazing. Number one, that's really super helpful, is Awakening Your Astronomical Vision by Dr. John DeMartini. I recommend his work. I've done quite a bit with him, and I cannot recommend him highly enough nor speak well enough of him. Another one that I picked up, I guess it was the end of last year, and really been enjoying and implementing that, is The 12-Week Year by Brian P. Moran and Michael Lennington. Really helps you take everything, and you talk about a 12-week year, and what they do is they say you can go ahead and you can plan things out in 12 months, but 12 months is too far away to actually feel like you're having meaningful, you're going to take a meaningful result today. So what they do is they say, okay, what goal do you want to achieve in a year? And let's try, what are you going to do huge about that in 12 weeks? Which is, basically your 90 days, your 3 months. And when you do that, then you can say, this week I'm going to accomplish this, and you can plan something every day. And it's just small enough that you got to work on it every day, and it's just big enough that you can get quite a bit done. And it's a super powerful book. Another one is a classic from the early part of the 20th century, and that's going to be Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. I cannot tell you how many times I've read this book, and it is a go-to for me. For a birthday a few years ago, my wife got me a leather-bound copy, so hardbound copy of it, so that I can keep it with me at all times and study it regularly, and I do. So I strongly recommend that one. Another one, if you're a Mind Valley person, would be John Butcher's Life Book Program. It is phenomenal. They put this on, and the cost is super, super affordable. And if you look at the way he does it, and you're actually being guided and directed by him and how he puts together his, it's phenomenal. He literally does what I've been doing for more than 10 years. So when I found that program, I was blown away by, because every few years I revisit how I do it so I can make improvements on it. And I was really impressed with the way he put it together, and he helped me see things differently in the way that I do it, so that I can, in the future, have even better results faster with more effect, which I love. And then one of the ones that got me started on this, setting goals and putting them together in a book, which I call, my life plan, was one of the guys that I think, today's day and age, you can't help but know who Tony Robbins is. And Tony Robbins' program, The Time of Your Life, is the one that really helped me set down the plan, the path of how am I going to go ahead and set goals for my life and in different areas. And so these are some wonderful tools that you can use. Now, something that all of them touch base on a little bit, but not as much as in the 12-week year. That's one of the reasons why I really enjoy what they have in the 12-week year, is one of the tools that really supports you or anybody else in being able to achieve or accomplish your goals is accountability. This is not something that everyone talks about. This is not something that everyone thinks they want. But if you're going to accomplish your goals, I cannot strongly enough recommend that you have a system of accountability. It's one of the reasons why we write down our goals. It's one of the reasons why we carry them with us. It's one of the reasons why we have areas that we want to achieve our goals in. And it's a reason why we set SMART goals, and it's a reason we set a plan. So that way, our accountability partners, whether it is one person or a group of people, it might be a mastermind of, half a dozen of you and your friends or other similar people who will say, these are the things that I want. This is what I want, and I want to achieve it. And I'm looking for people who will support me in achieving it while I support them in achieving their goals. If you can form this in a real estate office or wherever you work or whatever your life is like, I strongly do it. There's nothing better. You won't get any better feedback than from people who are actively working on their own goals. So you get to support them in achieving the things that they want. And the more that you support them, the more they will support you in achieving the things that you want. I can't tell you how much that's changed my life. And I regularly, for the past several years, have been doing some form of that. And I'm really glad that I've got the system that I'm working with right now, because it incorporates a little bit of all of this, and it's very flexible. So we go through 12-week cycles, take a week or two break, because we have to celebrate, we have to breathe, because we're pushing it for 12 weeks. And then guess what? We get back on, and we start again, and boom, we're pushing it again, and we're making things happen. So once again, I strongly recommend that use tools. This video series is great as a primer to get you started, and you can do a lot with this. But there's a couple things that I'm not able to do for you. Number one, you've got to do the work. When we talk about the work, I mean, when we talk about setting your areas in life, you've got to select what those are. That's your life. You've got to set the goals, and you've got to be creative about it. So you have your someday maybes, and you have a whole bunch of those. And you say, in this area, I want to achieve these things. And then set it down and work on, pick one or two goals that mean the most to you right now, that you think are going to get you towards that lifestyle the most. You're going to be the one who has to set the plan. You're the one who's got to put all these things together in a place where you can look at them and you can use them regularly. You're also going to be the one to find people who want similar things, who want something different. Setting up a mastermind with a bunch of people who just want the same things they've always had or are not committed to getting the things that they say that they want, they don't belong in that group. Find people who are willing to do the work. Find people, once again, when we talk about, set high specific goals, create a strong enough reason, a strong enough why that you want it. Find people who are really willing to find a strong enough reason, because in any goal, this is why, it's why only 3% of the population have the success and happiness that they want. And it's why the 97% don't. Because these are all things to help us keep in mind what's important and the things that we want in life. Because on that path, it will get tough. I wish I could say that it won't, but it will. It's the way life is. You want to be around other people who are committed enough to go through, to not stop when the going gets tough, to keep going, maybe push a little harder, because that's where you need to push a little bit. Those are the people you want to be around. You have to select them. I don't get to do that in your life. I can help guide you in the correct direction, and I'm happy to comment, respond, send me a message. I'm happy to support you in getting the goals that you want, especially if they're real estate business related. But I don't get to do the work. I don't get to live the life that you get to live. I don't get to live the success that you will get to live. I don't get to define the success for you. Only you get to do that. And as such, if you do the work and you get it, you get to enjoy it. Because the things that you enjoy as success may not be things that I enjoy. And I guarantee some of the things I enjoy as success, you probably wouldn't. Unless you're really like me. But, it's my wife, it's my dog. And while they're both amazing, they're mine. And I don't know how they'd react towards you doing the same things with them. My dog would probably be okay with it. My motorcycle, depends on how well you ride. My surfboards, all these are things that are important to me. What's yours? Because that's going to be the important one. And discovering and creating and being in touch with your why is most important. So, to tie this all together, we went through the week and we talked about setting specific goals, creating strong enough reasons why, developing a thorough plan, okay, taking massive action, and then being able to manage, track, and adjust with them. And being able to do that with some other tools or resources, such as other teachers or mentors who can assist you, or an accountability partner or group. Sometimes you may not be able to find an entire group of people who want to do great things. But if you can just find that one person who's not going to quit on the same day you are, okay, who will go ahead and help you succeed while you help them succeed. That's all it takes. If you like what you're hearing, please join the Getting to Escrow Facebook group. Like this video, subscribe, whatever your options are. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking with you soon. Mahalo.